Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How-Tos, and today I'm really pleased to be unboxing the Panasonic Lumix DMC-G7M. Okay, so this is the Panasonic G7 as it's known. Full name is the DMC-G7M. This is the kit version, which comes with the 12 to 60mm lens and was purchased very recently for a very reasonable price, which I'll put in the description below so you can have a look and see how much you got it for. This at the moment is probably, in my opinion, the best all-round 4K compact system camera for the money that you can get. Now, this is recorded in sort of mid-2017, so take that into consideration if you're watching this later. This camera, when it first came out, was in the upper sort of £700–800 mark in the UK. In America, you're looking at sort of $1,000. So it's come down a lot since then, since it was first released 2 to 3 years ago. So this is a great value camera in my opinion. So let's have a look, see what we get in the box. Okay, first of all, just looking at the box, this is the new version with firmware version 2 installed, which has included some enhancements like post focus and sorted out a few other issues which the camera's had. Now, if you've been researching this camera, you've probably looked at the various issues, the pros and the cons, to see what it does good, what it does bad. Firmware version 2 pretty much covers a lot of those little niggles that people have had. So if you do get a camera, or you've got this camera already, make sure you get firmware version 2 installed, and I'll put the links to firmware version 2 in the description below, so if you haven't got it, you can download it and install it. It's really easy to do and worthwhile doing. But anyway, let's get on and see what's inside the box. So that's my receipt. Just so you know, I bought it myself. This isn't a paid review in any way, shape or form. I've bought this purely based on reviews I've seen here on YouTube, and I've read from camera stores like Jessup's, Bristol Cameras, etc. So you get a instruction book, various languages, little pullouts. This is, I believe, going to be the quick start guide. And this is how to upgrade the firmware, which seems a little odd seeing that they've already done it for you, but hey ho. Also, you get a DVD, which comes with Silky Pics, which is a picture editing piece of software, and it's also got the full instructions for the camera in PDF format on here as well. So before you start using it, make sure you have a look through. There's really good information on there. Rather than you getting frustrated with the camera, even though it is really easy to use and it is almost as easy as a point and shoot for some options, it's worth reading the instruction manual just so you know what everything does. Okay, so you get a Lumix G strap, UK power plug, which is always nice. A Panasonic battery. Now this battery is the, let's see if it says what model it is. This battery is the battery pack model number DMW-BLC12E. Now these batteries are really good. You've got 1200 milliamp hours of power and they last quite a long time. You can get these quite cheaply from places like Amazon, eBay. Obviously copies, but they work just as well, sometimes even better for the money. So get some more of those, worth doing. Also we have a USB connection for connecting the camera via USB if you haven't got a card reader, etc. And here is the Panasonic Lumix Charger, which is model number DEA80. To me it looks a lot like the Canon chargers. So they copied their idea there pretty much, but it's a charger, there's not a lot else they can do with it. So that's great. Here is the lens, which is included in the kit. Like I said, this is a 12 to 60mm. It's a very nice lens. A little bit bigger than the 14-42mm lens, but obviously you've got a little bit more width there of focusing options, so it is obviously going to be a little bit bigger. Now this has got the Lumix G lens, which is, like I say, 12 to 60, and it has what everyone really wants is the Power OIS, which is the image stabilization system. So this is really good for smoothing out those shots in video, or trying to get a real nice, clean, crisp shot if you're using it for photography. So it comes with a cap at both ends. There's no switch on here at all for switching from manual to auto. That is all done on the body of the camera, which we're about to see. Actually, before that, keep you waiting. This is the included, which is, this is a nice little feature. This is a lens, I don't know, what do you call this? It's basically, it blocks out some of the sun so you don't get dazzled on the lens. Nice little thing to be added on. You haven't had to pay for it, so it's all good. And that fits on the front of the lens. And here we are, the star of the show. Here we are, the Lumix G7. Let's put this to one side. So let's have a quick tour around the camera. So we'll see shutter button and main controls on top. You've got your standard manual, automatic, panorama, etc. video mode on there. You've got your on-off switch, which has got a nice click to it. The wheel itself is got a really nice feel to it, and something I like to see is where it actually rotates all the way around. It doesn't stop and then you have to twist it all the way around. So it's a continual turn button. Also, you've got a ISO or aperture adjustment wheel, front and back, and you can set all these up in the menu for whatever you prefer, wherever you want them. You've got the the video start and stop button there, which they've moved away from the shutter button, so you can also get your sharp focus without having to press a different button or whatever. It's great, it's a good idea. Also on the side here, you've got your mode button. So you've got your standard single shot, your burst mode, 4K, your exposure mode, and time lapse and time delay. On the base of the camera, you've got the slider to release the battery compartment, and also the battery compartment is the slot for the SD card, which, just out of interest, you can use class 10 cards in here, but they'd have to be really good ones, and you probably struggle with 4K. You'd be fine with 1080p or the lower resolution modes, but because of the bitrate, you need a U3 card to do 4K, and it's probably worth getting those anyway for the higher bit rates. So it's got a nice lock on there. On the side, you've got a flap for your HDMI, your remote shutter button, remote shutter activation, and your AV out digital, which is to be used with the USB cable. That one. So that's that side. You've got your clasps for the strap on the side, or the hooks for the strap, whatever you want to call them. They look pretty strong. Doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. Okay, so further around you've got your viewfinder, and which is a electronic viewfinder. So you've got the information of your shot, your ISO, etc., whatever you choose to put on there, crosshairs, etc. Also on there is a little sensor, so that when you get close to it, it will turn off the main screen, which I'm going to show you in a second. So that's quite a nice feature. Also, you've got more buttons. You've got your flash option button, more function buttons. There's buttons everywhere on this camera. Like I said, you can choose to do whatever you like with the buttons in the menu. You can leave them as defaults. So for instance, like the function 4 button on there is default is the back button in the menu, or to put a file in the bin. But you can change that to whatever you feel like changing it to. So there we have the flip out screen. which is fully articulated. So for selfies, for low shots, or for high shots. So a really nice screen, really nice display, which I'll show you in a little bit when I power it up. What else have we got? From the bottom you got your thread for tripod, whatever you want to use. Got your release button on the front to release the lens, and also you've got your lens. You've got your cover. Now this is a 4/3 sensor, so a little bit smaller than some of the other sensors on the market. But with the new sensor type they've put in this camera, really is, although it's cropped, you're still getting a fantastic image, both for for photos or for video. So you're not losing that much, but you're gaining a lot of features, and especially for the money, it's a great camera. Okay, so also you've got your pop-up flash, which I don't know how that pops up. I think that's probably electronic, so I'm not going to pull that out. And I think that is about all I can show you so far. So I'm going to put the battery in and we'll have a look in the menu. Okay, so you've had a little bit of a tour around the camera body. Let's stick a battery in and put the lens on. Now, battery, usual sort of deal, goes in, and there's a little clip there which holds it in to release it. It's held in nice and firmly, and because it's locked in there, it's not putting pressure on the camera door or flap or whatever you want to call it, so it's less likely to get damaged. That's a nice little feature. And the only thing I would have liked to have seen on this is for that clasp to automatically come across in a lock-in position. Not a deal breaker, but just it would have been nice to have. So let's put the lens on. Let's put the lens on. There's a red dot on the top of the lens, and there's also a red dot on the body. So all we want to do is line up the red dot with the red dot. And twist the lens until you hear a click, and give it a little wiggle, make sure it's locked in nice and firmly. So there we are. There's the camera with its lens on. I'll put that on straight because I'm a bit OCD. So, nice looking camera. It's got a DSLR sort of feel to it, even though it's a mirrorless camera. And the grip actually is it's really nice. I've got relatively fat fingers and quite chubby hands, but even so, it feels like it's a nice grip, and I've got a really good grip on that, so hopefully that'll stop shaking, camera movement, etc. So let's take the lens cover off, and fire it up. Okay, and then we're met with please set the home area. And as you can see, it's a touch screen, so you just find your country, London, Casablanca, that'll do me. And there we go, just no memory card. And there we go, there's your display. So I say it's all touch screen, so you can set your focus points, etc. It's got 49 focus points, automatic focus points that you can set, or you can set individual focus points or groups of points. I'll go into that into another video, but for now, this is the camera. Really nice looking little camera. If you're lucky, you can pick one up with this kit lens, around about $499. There's a lot of cashback offers around this summer at the moment, so you can get £70 back on this model with that lens. If you get it with the 1443 lens, you get about £50 back, but the camera was a little bit cheaper to buy in the first place. So in my opinion, this is probably the better buy, but it's up to you. You have a look around and see what you think. But I'm gonna have a play with this camera, see what it does and what it doesn't do, and subscribe to my channel, and you'll see the results of what the camera can do. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. This has been the Panasonic DMC-G7M. I'm really pleased, and hope you will be if you get one yourself. I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.